All right, welcome back. Got a special night for a dash of life. I hope everybody's having fun, having a great week. Um, I got a great month coming up. Tonight I'm doing a special because I've always wanted to talk to this guy. I haven't talked to him in a long time, and I want to get him on the show. So this was one of the nights that we could work it in. So I want to thank everybody coming out, watching a special night of a dash of life. Tonight's guest, I went to high school with, played football with, in the mean streets of Choctaw. We can always have the good talks about Choctaw, but we're both grads from Choctaw High School, so I want to get him on, just see what he's been doing lately. So thank you for for me bringing him on tonight. Remember, we got a lot of good stuff this month. It is Book Lovers Month, so keep sharing your stuff on books. I love to see what you guys like to read and things like that. So share them with me. Let me know what you like to read. Last night we had a great show with Mark Damon Brooks. Talked about his new book coming up, Somnium. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that to hit Amazon and the other platforms that he was talking about. So be checking for that. I'll be doing a review on it as soon as I get done reading it. He's a fantastic author. I hope you guys get a chance to go out and see some of his books. Again, his name's Mark Damon Brooks. He's got some awesome books on Amazon. Go check him out. False Idols is one that's out already. Love it. So I'm going to be bringing Thomas Golightly on here in a few minutes. But remember, tonight you have to be a live viewer to be the winner of a Michael Jordan Funko Pop. So make sure you're live viewing to see the Funko Pop and win tonight. So I'll be announcing that here in a little bit again. I just want to let you know that that's going to be coming on. I'm going to be bringing on Tom here in just a second. So Tom, if you're out there watching, go ahead and shoot me an invite when you're ready to join. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I know it's hot out there. Do what you can to stay hydrated. Hydrate. Just stay warm. Get you one of them nice little swimming pools and just relax and stay in it. Other things that we got coming up this month, I've got an awesome show coming up this weekend, A Dash of Pop. We'll be talking about tabletop gaming and things like that, the resurgence with Tyshawn Smith. I've got a good friend, Peyton, coming on in a few weeks. We'll be talking to her about books and things like that. I've got a friend of mine named Glory, a friend of myself and my wife's. She has illustrated a few books that are on Amazon, so we'll be going over some of that here in a little bit. So I'm hoping to bring Tom on here. As soon as he's watching, he can shoot me an invite. If you're on the show, Tom, just turn your phone and shoot an invite to watch. If there's any shows that you guys want to see, anything specific, please let me know. Put it in the comments when you're watching. It's going to be, anything that you want to do, I'll be glad to do it. If there's anybody you want to see, please let me know in the comments as well. I like to get as many guests on as I can, just to let you guys see what A Dash of Life is all about. It's about my friends, about the things that they do. You'll have to go to use your phone, because from my phone, you cannot do it from the laptop. So if you have a phone, you have to jump on your phone, Tom. For whatever reason, being on the phone and the laptop doesn't work. I hope you caught that. I saw your message, so if you caught that, switch to your phone, buddy. Sorry, I'm not. My technical skills, technology skills are not that great. So, as soon as we get him set up here, we'll be talking with him. Again, like I said, if there's anything you guys want to see, please let me know. I'll be glad to try to get a show about it. So any help, anything like that, please let me know. And hopefully we'll get him on here in just a second. Hope everybody's having a wonderful summer. I know I am. I got to enjoy the swimming pool yesterday, lay out for like the first time in like 25 years. So I'm going to bring you on. There it is. We got him going there. And then we'll get going. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties like I've had in the last couple weeks. There it is. And there it is.
Right. Sorry
That's
about
all right.
that.
I mean, I tell you what, technology and me do not go hand in hand. As you can see, I'm still sitting in a I'm still sitting in my little man cave. I don't have. One of these days I'm going to get a nice little studio like I see that you get to be in all the time.
Well, bro, I was gonna say your video is incredible, though. Your gear is pretty good, so I gotta
It's just
hand
the
it to you.
iPhone,
You're
and
clear
it's
as
an
a bell.
iPhone and a nice little microphone that my aunt got.
That's amazing. Well, it's better than my get up here in my office, but no, thanks
Well,
for having me. Really
yeah, I
appreciate it.
appreciate you coming out. I mean, I love talking to my friends from high school. We've known each other, man. I'm not going to go how many years, but we've known.
I was gonna say, don't
Yeah,
say it, brother. Don't say
we've
it.
known each other a long, long time. But yeah, I like to talk to everybody, and I don't know if you've watched the show before, but this is a show, just to highlight my friends. I have a lot of friends that just do amazing things in the world today, whether it's writing books or just doing their own businesses, and I love seeing you doing the stuff that you do with Brigham Young and things like that. So that's what I want to kind of get into about what it is that you do now, since our basketball days out on the playground where we're dunking on a 8-foot goal or something like that.
With the
With
trampoline, by the way, because we weren't good enough to jump on our own on the 8-foot
that
rim.
is correct.
So, um, well, I'm a clinical sports psychologist, and essentially what that means is in my field, it's a fairly new field. It's only been around a couple of decades, and kind of grew out of the need for athletes to pay attention to their mental
Right.
health. The life of a student athlete in college is just it's ridiculously busy, and so being a a service provider in an athletic department. I actually am in counseling and psychological services, but all of my time is allocated to athletics. And we treat all of the psychological issues that you would treat as a clinical psychologist, but with the added component of working with athletes and working within their systems, their team systems, their athletic department systems, their sports medicine systems. So we kind of have a lot of levels and touch points with our clientele, which is different than a lot of
Right.
athletes. It's a little bit like more like a psychologist that would be on a military base, where they're talking with commanding officers and other people, because there's a certain amount of
Right.
accountability to a lot of people. Now we still keep things very confidential, and we're still very careful with what we share, but uh, it's been awesome to be in this field during its rapid growth, and it's something that you see. I mean, Naomi Osaka just
Yeah.
this week, right? Athlete mental health. It's kind of in the news a lot, and it's been awesome to kind of develop along with the field.
I guess, do you ever deal with gatekeepers when it comes to that? Like people saying, "Oh, athletes can't have," like trying to keep it away from them. Like they can't, like let's just take Naomi for example. There's a lot of people complaining about her pulling out because of mental health. But I guess, do you ever have a lot of people going, "Oh, they can't be going through that," or "It can't be that bad"? And does that affect those athletes as well when they're dealing with that? If you can give into any information of that nature.
I think a few years ago it was a little more like that. I think the last, I would say 5 or 6 years probably, stigma has really reduced on help seeking. I still get that a little bit where, well, what do they have to be sad about? I mean, this person's on an athletic scholarship, or this person's making millions. And what we found with good research is it doesn't matter how much money you're making, you're going
Oh
to
yeah.
struggle. And issues are there. And happiness isn't defined by socioeconomic status, by skill level. In my private practice, I have a small private practice in the evenings. And I see a lot of people that are highly functioning, pretty highly successful, and they struggle. And life, you're not devoid of issues because you are good at tennis or you're good at
Right.
any sport. You're going to need to take care of yourself. And in fact, the people that are elite, a lot of times they ignore that self-care, and they get to that breaking point and they really don't even understand what's going on with them. Kevin Love's article was awesome about that. I didn't even know what was going on. I thought I was having a heart attack, right? And it's surprising to them that their lack of self-care is coming to kind of, you know, bite them in the butt a little bit when they show up that way. But what I love about my job is seeing people be more comfortable in that arena, that they are high functioning, they're great at sport, and they're more accepting of themselves, their emotional experience, their relationships, and it's awesome to see that play out.
Absolutely. I think you hit it. I mean, and it's kind of goes hand in hand. We've been talking, we had a little bit of talk offline last night, and I think that's what, you know, it is a stigma. It is hard, even when we were in the military, it was hard to even announce that we were having any issues because that stigma that, oh, now you can't function or things like that. And somewhere down the road, I think along the way, we started hiding that. We started compartmentalizing what we were going through just to press on so we wouldn't have a stigma. And talking about what we talked about, I see it a lot, and again, it's just how do we help those people? Is there a way that we can talk to them? Whether it's my son who, you know, wants to go out and try to play football, and he doesn't want to have that stigma of that, or, you know, just the friends that I've been talking to and handling and dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Is there something that we can say or do, or is there, I know you kind of touched on a little bit last night when we're talking.
It is a little bit idiosyncratic. You know, we're all a little bit different. We all have our likes and dislikes. I think one of the big things that we all do, our human tendency, is we don't love our pain. We don't love our suffering. So we look at ways to just get rid of it that aren't congruent with our long-term goals, with our values. And so, you know, whether that's alcohol or drugs or what, terrible relationships or whatever it is, we use those to kind of soothe. And soothing isn't going to get us to where we want to go. So as we try to just invite people, you know, like, hey, I'm open, talk to me. And what I shared with you last night is we know that people that are in treatment are much less likely to attempt suicide, to hurt themselves. Really, the bridge is going and getting the help. And can we help them get there? So it's important to say, hey, I'm observing these things, listen instead of trying to fix. I think that's a big thing, is we jump in and try to fix super quick. And we, you know, it's likely that they've already tried the things that we're suggesting, one. And two, we just need to listen and let them know we're gonna sit in the hole with you. You know, we'll be there with you. And continue to suggest, like, hey, it's okay to go get help. I'll go with you. You know, like, take you to the appointment. I'll drive you. You know, just keep inviting. That's usually not received very well the first time, and it's okay to keep giving that message, like, hey, I love you, and I'm not trained to handle this, but there are people that are, and we can get you to those spots, and this is treatable, and we can get through it. But you know, let's not do that through alcohol. Let's not do that through bad relationships. Let's not do that through drugs. Let's do that through treatment. Things that are going to get you to where you want to live, because, you know, hitting the bottle pretty hard isn't going to help you, you know, move on to where you want to go in life. That's not go with work. That's not where you want to go with your relationship. That's not where you want to go with a lot of different things. And so just sitting with them and reminding them of those values, but most of all, just keep suggesting, I have some numbers for you to use.
That's exactly what it is. And I see what plays out with you and how you talk, you know, when you talk to your athletes. And I wanted another take, and, you know, and you are professional. I wanted to take on that. I wanted people to see that it's okay to talk about it. Because even for me, a long time, and you know, I've been where they have been, and I've had friends that have been. We've talked about it, and it's hard to open up. So I'm glad that you know, that I can hear it, and my friends can hear it from a professional. So we're talking earlier today I want to get, move on now. But we were talking earlier today about football and things like that. You being in the college football ranks, is it? Uh, I'm trying to word it right. I mean, how hard is it for them to open up to you? I mean, I don't want to get into too much, but is it the same way? Is it just as hard for them to open up as say a military member or anything like that?
I think it is difficult. I think there's some gender differences there for sure. I think when we look at um, how males and females are acculturated with emotion, if even go back to as far back as say 3 or 4 years old, when my sisters would scrape their knee falling off on the bike, what happened in the house? It was run inside, wash it off, blow on it, put a little Band-Aid on it. What happened when you and I fell off of our bikes? You better freaking get back on there and
get back and play. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you think about the long-term impact of that, what you're saying to the little boy is, don't feel pain. Pain is wrong, right? And so I think in some ways, now I'm not saying that females aren't acculturated to avoid their emotion.
Yeah, we know
we all do that, right? But going back to football and male specific kind of things, it gets in there. And part of football, and you know this, having played in high school, you just accept the pain. And, I remember when my son started playing and he asked me, how much does it hurt when you get tackled? Or how often did it hurt? I'm like, every time. And he's like, still played? And I'm like, yeah, it's part of the fun.
Well, that was the hardest part for me, because my dad was walking the sidelines. He was running the chains, and here I mean, if I even started to limp or hold, I'm just like, he's like, you get back out. And yeah. So yep. I just want, and I think that's what it was. It was ingrained in us to play through the pain and get it done. And then afterwards you can, take the nice cold ice bath and just again push it back and go to the next game.
Exactly. And so there's that little bit of mentality just in the sport, right? But what we're finding out, and to be honest, performance psychology for a lot of years was kind of like that. Ignore, just move on from your negative emotion or any bad things that happened in a game. But now, kind of in the last 10 years, we're really working with more of a model of acceptance of your experience. And it's like, it's okay to struggle. It's okay that it hurts when you get tackled, but just get back up and keep going. That doesn't mean you stop. It doesn't mean you don't play. You just accept it as part of your experience and move on. So, if the ball's coming high over the middle, you might as well catch it, because you're going to get hit, right? And you just accept that you're going to get hit. Same thing with mental health issues. In the last few years here at BYU, we've worked really hard at help seeking. A lot of prevention work. We do a lot of screenings. And so being around and being part of the system, it's not weird to look over and practice and see me at the sideline. Not all practice. I don't have the time to be there for hours and hours, but I'm around enough. And I think because I'm around enough and it's familiar, and teammates talking to other teammates, hey, you really need to go seek help. It's okay. I did it. It's important. We're always going to miss a few because they're worried about what that looks like and what that means. But when it gets to a certain point, we're really helping a lot of people. And in college football, even I know it was COVID, but we actually had a mental health awareness day in all of college football, sponsored by Helinski's Hope, Tyler Helinski was a starting quarterback at Washington State who died by suicide a few years ago. And his parents started a foundation for student athletes to kind of speak up and get the help that they need. It's been a really incredible foundation. But BYU was one of 16 schools that was one of the sponsors for that. The green ribbon helmet sticker and all sorts of things. I probably have a coin around here in my office somewhere that I could find.
That's important though, man. It really is. It's not, it doesn't just, like we talked about, it just doesn't affect this socioeconomical group or this type of athlete. It affects everybody. And that's why I'm kind of doing this show now. The more I started, the more I got into it. This is what this show is geared to. I want people to understand physical, mental, spiritual, financial health, everything. That's kind of what I'm gearing towards with this show. And it's just, the more I've gotten people on, I finally found that niche of what this show is about. So, and that was another reason I wanted you on, was to get that in there, because man, I love you, brother, because you amaze me every day. So, college football now. We talked there. Let's go with it. So, BYU. Now I'm gonna sit on that fan side because you are there now. What do you think about this new? We talked about it earlier, but the playoff system. What does that help? Does it hurt? What do you think?
Well, I think it's interesting being here and seeing our team. Well, first of all, let me back up like half a step to a little personal thing. I have to thank you for two things in my life that I still love passionately to this day. The first one is country music. Okay. I owe all of my country music fandom to you. I mean, I loved George Strait before I moved to Oklahoma, but you opened my eyes to a much greater world. And that garbage that is new country, you and I can kind of connect on. That's not country music. But the other thing is my lifelong passion for OU football. And so I'm still Boomer Sooner all day. I have Oklahoma gear that I wear around, not necessarily to work or to the side. And I'm there, but little do people know I'm DVRing the Oklahoma game while I'm at work at BYU for game day. But that being said, I watch high-level football. Most of my colleagues that I interact with, and I'm great friends with the people at pros at OU that do psychological work there. But a lot of them are from big football schools, and coming from Oklahoma, where culturally football is important. It's interesting to be here at a school that isn't part of one of those Power 5 conferences. But like this last year, we were one of the better teams in the country. You're not going to convince me that on any given day. Now, we lost to Coastal, and we ran our base offense and defense because we had less than 48 hours to prepare. But give us a chance to game plan, and I think we're pretty undefeated. And
I was there with you all the way. I was pushing you guys to the front to get up there and get that playoff shot, man. Because it's I even in school, Ty Detmer, I've always kind of loved the BYU just because the quarterback, the system is great, and they're underdogs a lot of the times, and of course blue and white's an awesome color. So, but yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I wanted to succeed. I want them to succeed. I root for them, so I'm there with you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that. That's job security for me, if we a little bit. Not the only thing, but clinical outcomes are much more important than wins in my job. But it's good. The 12 team, I think, will allow a team like BYU last year to be in it, right? And a team like Coastal to be in it. And so for all of those that don't have that automatic slot, you see every excuse to not include that team in the top 4. And so to kind of have that, it does give a little bit more hope to, hey, maybe we got a shot here. Even the difficult thing, though, is you lose a game, and it's like this for a lot of schools. You lose one game and you're out. It's hard to keep kids focused after it's like, oh, well, we're not in it anymore.
I think it's a good I think it's a good incentive. Not so much for the I was talking about this with another gentleman, and it was talking about how the players just don't have nothing to play for after a while because they know it's going to be Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, or somebody else, or Oklahoma, and they're wanting to sit out because now I think it gives them a sense of, because all these kids are great. Everybody that goes to college, and I don't care what anybody else says, every kid that steps on that college field from Division I all the way down to Division III are phenomenal. They're in college football, and they're stars in my book, and I want them to succeed. I'm a college football fan, and I want every kid to succeed that's out there. And so, except for Texas, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But no, seriously, I want them to succeed. And I think, what do you think? Does this give them not so much to, I think it gives them a little bit more to play for. I think it gives them something to actually strive for besides uh, the Armed Forces Bowl or something else. I want them to play for the championship. I want everybody to have a shot, you know. I guess that's me, but
I think it does, you know, and I know it's hard because I sit on a few national committees, and just knowing how the NCAA really does. I know this is a pretty controversial thing that I'm going to say, because the NCAA is not super popular with a lot of people, but they really do care about wellness and safety. And being as close as I have been to college football for a long time now, it takes a toll on your body. And it's really, really hard. And even when the NFL added the game this year to be a 17-game season, I'm like, oh man, even one game,
that's a
it's
lot.
like
That's a lot.
it's a lot. So I get where you're coming from for not wanting to have a huge tournament. At the same time, it's like, you know what? Let's give more people a shot. And
yeah, thought about it after you. I mean, I've had different point perspectives, and there was a few were with you, and there was a few that were the eights. But the more I think about it, it's better if you drop the 10. If you drop the 10 bowl games, I think that they're talking about playing, and take them off, you're not really taking away, because you're adding to it with these playoff games. So I don't think you're really hurting it. So yeah, I'm all for it. Hey, I'm going to take a break for a second because I got to do my giveaway. I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to give away the Michael Jordan pop. So if you're watching, you got to be live viewer. Type in GOAT. Yes, the real GOAT. Type in GOAT in the comment section, and you will have a chance to win a Michael Jordan pop. All right, back to Tom. Excuse me, but man, I'm got choked up there for a second. I want to thank you for coming on tonight, brother. I want to get you back on because I think we have a lot more to talk about on this subject. So it's been a pleasure seeing you again. I mean, I think it was 10 years ago we saw each other at a football game or something. So I'm hoping to see more of you again. It's inspiring to see you out there on the sidelines with the kids. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the good word, and thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me anytime, and love doing it. It's great to see you. I wish I had occasion to get out that way a little more often. Maybe it'll happen sometime soon.
Maybe we can have a reunion at the basketball goal or something, and just for old time's sake.
Well, if we couldn't get the rim before, for sure, we're not getting it now. So that's
like 3 trampolines, I'm sure. But thanks again, Tom.
And
love you, brother. Thanks for coming on, and appreciate everything you do.
Love you too, bro. We'll talk to you later. Okay,
guys. That was Tom. Tom Golightly talking about college football, the mental health aspects of things. It's good to kind of get a different perspective. But thanks for joining me out here tonight. I wanted to do a special show because he's just on it, and I like to get his perspective. So thank you again, Tom. Remember, guys, take care of yourselves. And just, if you ever need anyone to talk to, I've said it for the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to continue saying again. If you ever need someone to talk to, you can talk to me. I'm here all the time, 24/7. You can reach me by phone. You can text me. You can get me on Facebook. Please reach out to me. This coming up July 3rd. Just if you haven't seen the post, we are doing a memorial walk for my friend Cliff. Please, if you just come out and walk a mile, that'll be great too. Just come out and celebrate his life if you'd like to at Mitch Park in Edmond, July 3rd, 8 a.m. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for watching. I will announce the winner here shortly of who won. So thank you for coming on. And remember what I say, take care of yourselves, love one another, and I'll see you next week.